Don't allow them to block your flow. Targeted individuals, psychic reading, hermetics, what's the tea? Let's find out what's going off. If you want a bit more clarity on your personal situation, I do now that offer these. They're available in the link on the profile called Stand Store. They're currently involved in the winter sale, so they start from just $8.50, guaranteed same day. Right, so don't allow them to affect your flow. 3 of Wands, Lord of Established Strength. Right, so for this collective, you've been in a period of building up that strength, realizing your power, tapping in astrally, seeing things from a different perspective. All the while, you've got this continued energy, you've got this continued negativity around you that's trying to stop that. They're trying to manipulate the flow of abundance to you. They're trying to manipulate the flow of strength coming towards you, and you're not to allow them. Okay, they're manipulating the thought processes. They're putting questions and doubts into your mind. They could, you could have people, around you who are kind of going, "Oh, what do you want to do that for?" Blah, 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 blah. Or it could just be straight up magic and energy manipulation. Be aware of it. Okay, stand firm. The Empress in the reverse, daughter of the mighty ones. Right, so they're trying to topple you from that empress throne. You're supposed to be stepping into that. You're supposed to be remembering your divinity, and this is why they're doing this. Okay, it comes from fear. It's fear. There is jealousy involved in this as well, but it's mainly fear. Right? They want what you have. They can't stand the fact that they weren't chosen. Okay, be it as in a chosen one or chosen for something. Okay, 5 of Swords, Lord of Defeat. Okay, they can't face that they have been defeated. They can't face that you've not chosen them or that they aren't chosen, etc., etc. So instead, Lord of Material, Trouble. Right. So I'm gonna say that Lord of Defeat kind of they can't face that they are facing defeat, so they're still attempting to throw you off course. They're attempting to affect your finances. They're attempting to use energy manipulation to cause you trouble in your home life, in your work life, in whatever the situation is. Lord of Prudence, Hanged Man, right? What this feels like is because you're kind of facing obstacles, what they are wanting you to do is to play it safe, to not put yourself out there, to not chase those dreams, right? And keep you in this kind of stuck hanged man energy of kind of waiting around, not being confident in yourself. Temperance in the reverse. They're also trying to kind of throw you out of alignment. Now the good news is we've got the Sun card. You've got the Sun card coming in, right? Death card in the reverse, right? You're being asked to kind of kill off this situation, okay? And you can kill off situations in many, many different ways. And if you do, that's going to lead to the Wheel of Fortune, right? So there's going to be a shift in energy. The Lord of the forces of life. 6 of Pentacles, Lord of material success, right? Emperor in the reverse, toxic masculine energy. So what you because for me, as I'm doing this reading, this isn't about me, by the way. As I'm doing this reading, it feels more like an energy attack. Okay, black magic, etc. Right? The way you kill that off is by realizing and remember that this is happening because you are divine. Okay, you've put the hard work in. You're remembering and realizing your powers again, and the best way you can kill this off is by remembering that and go, this is only happening because I'm a threat. You know, somebody who's not a threat doesn't really get attacked because the attackers they're not jealous. They've got nothing to take from you. What the attackers do for people who aren't a threat, they try and manipulate them to get them to join their army. So if you're a targeted individual, it's because you're a threat, and you're a threat because you bring great change. You have divinity within you. So if we're talking about kind of energy attacks and kind of entity-based mental manipulation, black magic, etc., it's about taking a step back and going, this isn't what I think. This isn't my thought processes. This has been placed on me. Okay, let's start getting some clues to the bastards. Right. Well, bottom of the deck first off. Shine. Radiate with truth. Your light triggers darkness. Stay unapologetically you. So that's kind of just tying into what I was saying there. about remembering who you are, stepping into that divinity, remembering the power that you hold within you. These people are hooked, right? I feel like they smell defeat. I feel like there's people around them who are already or have already received their karma for trying to take you on. So they've got into kind of panic mode. They're dipping further into dark energies, and it's just keeping them hooked on this situation. Love triangle, third party involved, torn between multiple lovers, bad habits, DURGS and denial, repeating mistakes, can't break the loop. I'm more drawn to the repeating mistakes and can't bring the loop. What it feels like is whoever these attackers are, they're not the main protagonists. I feel like the main protagonists have taken a step back because they've realised by now who you are. They've realised that, I mean, they knew who you were, and this is why it all started. But they've realised, hang on, maybe there's a bit more to this. Maybe, we've been kind of hoodwinked here. So let's get the minions to do the work instead. Let them take on the karma. And this person who's been sending you stank energy and trying to stop you, they're involved. It's like that they're not torn between you and somebody else. They're torn between kind of two factions. And it's like they're scrabbling around because they're scared. They're scared. They know that the light is radiating from within you, and everything that they have tried thus far hasn't worked. They're in panic mode. Okay, and what I've got coming in my head is somebody keeps going, it's not worked, it's not worked, it's not worked. And there's a second person going, keep calm, it's fine. And it feels like the second person is part of a higher ranking network or group, and they're manipulating this person. Now, this person who's being manipulated, I think that they know that they're being manipulated, but they're more scared of this person who's manipulating them, so they've gone along with it. But they've got in too deep now, and they've realised everything that they are sending you, everything that they are attempting. Confirmation, cat screaming in the background. Isn't working. So they're starting to panic. They're starting to flap. Okay, and it's like that they're now thinking about going towards somebody else. It might be an enemy of my enemy is my friend type situation for protection from this person who has been manipulating them. Bankrupt, right? So for me, that can sometimes talk about being morally bankrupt rather than financially bankrupt. It could be that they're taking a hit on their finances. Scarcity tactics, right? So what they're doing is they're kind of making out that they don't have as much, and it might be in an energetic sense, and they're kind of playing poor me. Wants you back, didn't know your worth. Now they're desperate, too little, too late. It feels like this person. They might come back. They might come back and approach you. I think it's unlikely, but they might do with this kind of like, oh, I haven't got anything, or it's tactics. It's tactics. They've realised they've effed up big time. Okay, they've realised they've effed up big time, and that their opportunity has now gone. Rather than sitting with you in this abundant energy like they could have done, they're now facing karma, right? Forcer, pushy energy, crosses boundaries, gets what they want by any means. This feels like this is in regard to the person who's manipulating them. I don't feel sorry for these people by any stretch of the imagination. They made their choice, they made their bed, now it's time to lie in it. Right, so they're facing legal issues. Okay, facing court matters, paperwork delays, dealing with authority. I don't think that's happened yet. Court a case, STI, SDD, rash, etc. I feel like this can sound a little bit out there. I feel like that's more of a kind of spiritual disease. I think that they've caught some kind of spiritual disease in this black magic, dark energy, devil energy type web that they've got them themselves caught up in. There's some network that's getting pulled down. Okay, there's something in my mind, and I'm not saying this to try and upset people. There's something to do with children. Okay, there's some kind of network who've been using children, siphoning children, worse than that, and they've been caught up in it. I'm not saying that this person who's been sending you this stank has been doing that, but they're caught up in this greater web, this force or energy, this person who's going, take a step back, relax, all that lot. They are. and that I feel like that they can sense this shift. They can feel the legal system starting to breathe down the neck. They're starting to get paranoid. They've started to notice that there's people following them. They've started to notice that there's eyes on them. Okay, this feels like, okay, it's quite a dark web, for want of a better phrase. There's a lot of people involved, and I feel like the authorities are onto them. They're finally onto them.